Maybe it's back from my heredity or what, but I think everyone in my family has always enjoyed the work that they do. They like what they do. I think they were all good at it. My father had a number of positions. He was a teacher at one time, enjoyed that. My mother was a teacher. She taught up until the time she would have had me for a student, said no more. As soon as I graduated from high school, she went back to teaching again. I think she loved teaching, and she taught up until retirement age. I got interested in music through my family. My father is probably the finest musician I've ever known, but yet I've never heard him play an instrument and never heard him sing. But fantastic record collection, a love for music. My mother had a love for music. She played French horn in her youth, but I never heard her play it. I have a sister about 10 years older than I am who was an outstanding French horn player, played with the Wichita, Kansas Symphony, and going to their concerts, I wanted to be a trumpet player, and that was the thing. Well, the dentist took a look at my teeth and says, no, you're going to have braces, you're not going to play the trumpet. Nowadays you can play the trumpet with braces, but not then. The next concert was Zeno Franciscati, the violinist, and that sold me on it, and I went home and said I want to play the violin. The next day a woman moved in next door who happened to be a violin teacher, and that started it all. I'm a very emotional person, and when I'm conducting, if it's a sad piece, I may wind up crying while I'm conducting. If it's an angry piece, I'll get mad. If it's happy, I'm on top of the world. I get very deep into my music. It comes. I look at the music and I hear what I want just an instant before getting it. It's a funny feeling to hear the sound twice in your head, but after a while you get used to it, and I hear what I want, and then through facial expression, body movement, more than conversation, I try to relay that, and with the group that I have here in St. Charles, they do it. The forming of it was for ourselves, just to get together and to perform and have the enjoyment of performance, and then we turn around and share it with whoever wants to come, and we find that there are quite a few people who do want to come. There are people who apparently don't have the opportunity either to get to the larger city or to see this type of performance, and they're there. Now, our orchestra is a chamber orchestra, and we play chamber music, but we creep off into other things occasionally too. We may do a hoedown, or we may do some movie themes as well, and that's kind of attracted an additional audience to it who is beginning to enjoy the chamber part as well. Frequently we put on a performance with probably no more than 4 or 5 times as much rehearsal time as we have performance time. So it's a very speedy process. Much of the music is in styles that they are very familiar with, and that they're quick to look for my interpretation and follow that. But we know that we've got a job to do or a game to play, and we get back to it. Saying game to play, that's probably one of the things that I'm just beginning to understand about music, is they always say you play music. Well, if you talk to most musicians, it's hard work. But I suspect that the baseball Cardinals consider that hard work too, but they play the game, and you enjoy what you're doing, and that makes it play, no matter how much effort you have to put into it. The rehearsal, that's relaxed, but still very intensive at times, but you do have those breaks. Now you get to concert, and you get one shot at it, and that's it. There aren't any retakes. You can't stop and say, we're going to do that again. So then it gets a little more tense. But there's still the enjoyment, the playing of the music. And I guess you go from there. Being the conductor, I have a number of privileges that I enjoy. Selecting the music. I pick the music a lot of times, primarily for myself, things that I enjoy working with, that I like the sound. But I'm also thinking about what the orchestra would enjoy playing and what the audience would enjoy hearing. Usually, all three fit together. Occasionally, probably more in school than with the chamber group, I pick something because I feel that it's important that the people learn how to play this, or in this style, whether they like it or not. It's important that they learn how to do it, and hopefully they will learn to like it. Sometimes not by performance. Sometimes they learn to hate it by performance. We go through stages. They didn't like it. Well, it's acceptable. Well, this is pretty good. Well, we worn that out to, oh, not again. Now, chamber group, we don't rehearse that much to get to that opportunity. And I think most of them enjoy the things that we're playing. You have to communicate with your orchestra, and they're communicating back to you and the audience. And you have to, through hand motions, through expressions, and occasionally through just conversation, relate what you want to get through to the audience. And it's not a difficult job for most musicians, that you learn to sense the other person's expressions and motions and all. When you're sitting there in the orchestra watching somebody lead you, or whether you're there leading them, occasionally you see that expression out there wanting help. What do I do? Where do I go? And you start trying to guide them. The greatest conductor that I've ever played under had little tiny motions, very small movements, but you always knew exactly what he wanted, and he could communicate through his facial expressions and his eye movement that he wanted you personally to play louder. I'm sure that everybody in the orchestra felt like he was saying to them personally, but I got that feeling in the orchestra that he was saying, Ken, I want some more sound from you. And I've tried to develop some of that, and I'm sure I have not come anyways close to what he's done, but I think occasionally I get a little bit of it across. I think of myself as an artist, very definitely, but I think of practically everyone as an artist. That the guy who mows our lawn, when he does a good job, is an artist. The teachers that I teach with in all subjects, there are some real artists at it. There are people who communicate and share experiences and create, and I hope that I'm one of those persons. I feel that I'm one of those persons, not as much as I would like to be. I would like to be better at what I do than I am, and that's my goal, is to constantly step up that ladder. As far as being a artist that has to be in front of an audience. No, I get enough of my enjoyment just from hearing the performance. From doing the rehearsals, in a rehearsal we usually perform for ourselves at least part of the time. We play through a piece non-stop without tearing it apart. I was asked a question not too long ago, what's the greatest thing that can happen in teaching? And I think after a lot of thought, sum it up, is every once in a while I see a student realize that they can do something that they always thought was impossible for them to do. And you see the glow in them, and it pays off.